We get to go first, and this hand is actually pretty decent. The Mana Tithe on turn 1 might be able to slow down a Mana Dork. Always a funny card to use because the opponent just never expects it. Just like that. Turn 1 Mana Tithe. Can't really ask for more. Kill the Armed Scavenger, so we can draft equipment on the every upkeep. This card's actually kind of crazy. It's really good. So what do we want to get? I guess the haste one is good, and it just means until the end of turn you may play it, and equips cost 1 less. So tapped unless you control 2 or few other islands. Go for the Boots of Speed here. Do we need to equip that now? Until end of turn you would play that card. Equip active abilities you activate cost 1 less. So let's just go for Kellan here. Get ourselves an equipment. Something against green would be good. So the Sword of Forge and Frontier, I think, is nice. And then we decline. We have to be careful because if you accidentally say don't put them into the command zone, then that means... Sorry, don't put them into the adventure zone. It means Kellan's going to cost you 2 more later, so just be wary. Radagast already is kind of scary. Gives him so much value. We get ourselves... I guess we go for the dagger here. I really want to go for the Wandering Emperor, to be honest. To exile the Radagast. The 5 toughness on that is a bit of a nuisance, really. But what if we went for the sword and then equip for 1 on here, and then just start swinging in unblockable now, basically? Projection from green. How are they going to do all that? They can destroy the sword itself. Damn, missed 2 chances at a land drop there. Oh well. If they attack with the Radagast, I think I'm going to actually kill it with the Wandering Emperor. We shall see. They get to draw cards if the creature is power 3 or greater. Okay, and they're going to attack as well. I guess we'll go for Colossus Hammer. And we'll attack first in case we get 2 lands on top. We can play both of those instead, which would be good. Down to 14. We're definitely dealing damage. The 1 ring. Do we want to play this? Is that time? Is it going to be the one time we actually don't want to play it? Which is kind of crazy. Enchantment. Do we just play the 1 ring? It doesn't help us, does it? It doesn't actually speed us up. Got 5 mana. 6 mana. So we can actually... Yeah, I'm sorry. With the 1 ring just not happening yet. We need to slow them down. Slow them down. And we'll get rid of the Destiny Spinner as well. Just to get rid of some power on board. Yep, so we do get to keep the Wandering Emperor now as well, because the Armored Scrap Gorger doesn't have any power. So that's pretty lucky. But yeah, this Tribute to the World Tree is probably going to kill us. Oh, whenever it taps. Damn, interesting. I thought it's whenever it taps for mana. Okay. So are we in trouble? Who knows? So it's because it's got protection from red, we can't equip it with the Boots of Speed. But we can equip Kellan, give him haste, and then the sword. Oh no, because the issue with that is the protection from red means that it will drop off. Okay, that is kind of annoying. But he has got double strike, and that equips for free. And now that's 5 power. Immolation gives. Yeah, it's just not a very effective attack. Okay, we can leave the double strike up on defense. It's fine. I think we might have them next turn, depending on what they do. Okay, so now we get to play 2 lands at the top. Elite Spellbinder to maybe slow down their rolls a bit. Renin 7 is going to cost them 7, ironically enough. And then do we just go for the mask? I guess so. It's going to be good for the Kellan when we equip him. So, yeah, I mean, I could have attacked with him there, but they would have probably blocked with the Augur of Autumn. And now we have pretty damn good attack force. They could just go for Renin 7, make a huge blocker. But again, they can't actually block the Arm Scavenger. And if we give him any more equipments, well, we can't, can we? Because protection from red means we can't give it the boots. Nissa, oh geez. Do they kill the sword here? Wow, they're going to go for this mode, so that's going to be 19. That's interesting. So they basically messed up massively there. What they should have done was killed the sword, which gave us protection from green. Why did they do that? Was that like a last-ditch attempt? Did they... I think... So it gives it trample as well, doesn't it? They should have actually just paid the cheaper. Oh, no, they couldn't because they wanted 7, didn't they? 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they could have actually done that if they actually paid properly. So they could have paid 4, 5, 6 regular, 2 life. It would have come out with maximum loyalty. Give all their team plus whatever it is, and then alpha in with everything would have actually been a lot better. Oh well, that's a shame. Hello, it's that time again where one of my amazing fans sends me in a deck list, and we're going to go through and edit it and see how it fares essentially from A to Z. So this is Roy Henoch's list that he sent me via Discord, so thank you very much, Roy. So as you can see, it's a Kellan Flay-Blooded deck, which has an awesome tutor built in to get any equipment or aura, then gives other creatures +1/+, and for each aura and equipment attached to them, essentially. There are a few cards I'm missing, and as usual, I'm going to go through and see what's worthy of maybe crafting for in long-term value, and then what isn't. So firstly, I always go to the lands because this is the easy part. We've got Fury Calm Snull, which is not crafted, but that's fine because with rare lands like this, it's not 100% vital to keep, so I will just get rid of that for now. Probably replace it with the basic, so that's fine. Sunbait Canyon, again, it's pretty good, but I'm not that desperate to craft that one either, so we can just replace it with a basic and also Mana Confluence, which I don't normally use in 2-color decks because it can hurt quite a bit, and I think it's much better than 3-color decks anyway, so that's fine. And then we'll add another white source there because it's a bit heavy in the white mana sources. And then what's next in the cards? We've got Range of Eos, which comes in and it searches your library for 2 creature cards with mana value 1 or less. So what do we have in the deck that we can get? So you get Rabbit Battery, Ragavan, Fervent Champion, Thraben Inspector, Skrelv, Selfless Savior, and the Outfitter. That seems actually pretty good in the deck. Comes in, gives you 2 creature cards, and the creature cards are exactly what you want to be hitting your opponent with. We have 1 spare rare. So in this case, I do think we will be crafting this because that is something that is, I think, would be possibly usable in multiple decks. So we'll go ahead and craft Range of Eos. It's deceptive what is mana value 1, right? You don't really think of those small things, but in a deck that cares about getting a constant flow of creatures, I think it is pretty useful to have. Let's clear that field. So we got a Range of Eos and a Seasoned Pyromancer. This is a mythic. We do have 2 spares, but I do like to save them for legends. And Seasoned Pyromancer isn't actually a legend. Now, it's very, very good because it can get 3 bodies. Draw 2. So discard 2, draw 2, then feature another land discarded, you get an elemental. It's bonkers good, but it's so painful crafting this because it's a mythic, and I don't think I can kind of justify it. So I think I will be omitting it for now, but I'm not saying it's a bad pick. It's an incredibly good one. Let's see if we can replace it with something that creates tokens in combat around the 3 mana mark. And let's look at what we have in Rare or Mythic. Again, this is entirely down to what you have unlocked. So the part of the challenge here is finding something that can actually fit the slot. Monastery Mentor is actually crazy. I think this is definitely going to be the pick here. In fact, it might even be better because it can scale even better whenever you cast non-creature spells. So yeah, on Monastery Mentor, 100% I think going into the slot. And what else is next on the list? We have Ranger Captain of Eos. Very similar to Ranger of Eos. So it's weirdly like up the chain one, but it only searches for one creature, 1 mana res. Again, when it comes to mythics, I really like saving them for legends so I can make new videos. So sadly, I think we'll be getting rid of that Ranger and maybe replacing it with something else that just creates more tokens at Rare or Mythic around the same slot. I'm also thinking Basri Ket is a pretty good card. Whenever another soldier dies, create a 1/1. Puts counters on creatures. How many soldiers are actually in the deck? We've got 8 soldiers in the deck. So maybe Siege Veteran would be good. We've got Balesmith's Command as well, which gives a soldier +1/+1. Or you just get a soldier, or you give a soldier a permanent boost. But because Kellan is a human fairy, I don't know if that's going to be that viable. We want to look around the 3 mana slot. In red, we have some good things. Legion Warboss is great. Might have to be putting this in. Creating extra attackers is exactly what we kind of want to do. Do we want to make Legion Warboss? Let's filter to 3 mana to make it a bit simpler. Legion Warboss or the Siege Veteran? Another soldier, doesn't even count himself. Or we've even got the wedding announcement, which makes dudes as well. Other creatures get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellan. So you want to kind of have go sideways strategies a little bit. So I'm thinking Legion Warboss. Such a good card. Makes things every single turn. So good. Selfless Spirit. This is a very good rare. Creatures you control get indestructible. We do have an extra rare slot. I do think I'm going to craft this because it's essentially the rare version of Selfless Savior. But Selfless Savior gives 1 thing indestructible, and Selfless Spirit gives your whole team. So yeah, I think I'm definitely crafting that because it's something that I can imagine using in multiple decks. So we need to take it off 3 mana, don't we? Always forget the filters there. Selfless Spirit, so there we go. Crafting that. But yeah, looking at the deck so far, Roy, this is a really cool list. I really like it already. I've done the fatal mistake of having a keyword in the top left and then going back to our deck list, which lags the client. Oh, it's ever so painful. Next up, we've got Frodo. Whenever he enters or attacks, you may attach equipment with mana value 2 or 3. So how many do we have? We've got Lion Sash, Swords, Maul. We don't even have that many. 2 or 3. It feels very specific. Can't even equip wands. I mean, the arm scavenger can make more equipments as well. Does it actually synergize with many things? How many more rares am I willing to use here? I don't know. I feel like it's so specific to equipment decks. So I do have something bookmarked. I'm actually going to take Frodo out. I do have something that's actually a pretty awesome replacement, though. So if we look at the Boros cards, where was it? Jorkadine. This is great because It cares about equipped creatures attacking, and then if his power's 4 greater, draw cards. I'm definitely going to put this in. And we also have some more things, spicy picks, but we'll try to keep the deck intact for now. Because we've got Giver of Runes, which gives another creature you control protection. So we've got that in addition to Skrelv. And it is a fantastic card. Another creature gains protection from colours, all the colour of choice. Yeah, I think we'll craft Giver of Runes. It's one of those cards I can imagine using multiple decks. So there we go. I think it's pretty close to your build, Roy. But what I'll do, we'll have a few games with this, and we'll go through and just see how it does. But I'm definitely excited to playing this. Kellan seems pretty awesome. He basically reads 5 mana, get yourself an equipment, and a 3 mana 2/2 double strike. So let's see how we do. So against Liliana, we want lots of small creatures. Sadly, we only have one here that can actually come out in time. And they'll probably be able to kill it. So let's mulligan this to get something a bit more. This is... I mean, we do have a turn 2 creature that will be met by turn 3 Lily. But I think we're going to have to risk it here. So turn 2 Jorkadine, turn 3, not sure, to be honest. Turn 3 Monastery Mentor, I guess. But yeah, we want to get loads of creatures out as soon as possible. If they kill the Jorkadine here, that's going to really slow us down. Yeah, because now it means they can go for Lily and sack the next thing we do. Although the Tide Taker was a fantastic rip off the top, because if they actually make us sack this, we get a 1/1 remaining. This is a really good addition. And it now means they have to think carefully. When it enters the battlefield, each player discards a card. Get rid of that. Okay, so we'll go for the Monastery Mentor, and then the following turn, we'll go for... yeah, the sword. So I'm not going to attack there. I want to keep the Tide Taker up. Liliana. Each player discards. So sadly, I think we'll get rid of the land. Monks have prowess. Okay. So we can do dog and sword. I think that's actually pretty insanely good. Especially with the prowess. Couldn't ask for more, really. Attack both into Lily. So the only thing that's going to be bad now is a board wipe. They're going to attack the Monastery Mentor. Oh no, that's not a good omen. Okay, so they have a Languish. We're absolutely screwed. If they have an Exile effect, we're a bit in trouble as well. Extinction event. So we've got 2, 3, 1 even. So they've got 2 of each. So it's their choice, really. Okay. So that's not the greatest. So they can make us discard, but it only hurts them. They can make us sack, but it doesn't really matter. We still have something else. Wow, they're just legit going to get rid of Liliana. That is intriguing. Intriguing. So let's put the sword onto the Tide Taker. They could be in trouble, because we get to now draw extra cards, which is good. Okay, so yeah, this is my classic anti-black strategy. Just keep pummeling with loads of creatures. Empty your hand so the Liliana has no effect apart from sack. Another board wipe would still be kind of annoying. Shieldred makes us lose the... Interesting. So if we get rid of the Tithe Taker, it means we get a flyer. We can go over the top. So let's do that. So now we're just going to try and ignore the Shieldred. We've got not enough creatures for them to really do much with here. Put counters on here as well. We're really just going in here, aren't we? Down to 15. And because Liliana doesn't actually target creatures, we can just keep sacking things we don't really care about. We could lose the Planar Disruption, which is a bit sad, because this can stop the Shieldred blocking and flipping. But we're in a really good position, even though they have this, because they can't flip it until we have 8 or more cards in our graveyard. We only have 4 right now. Vraska. Are they going to turn the flyer into a treasure? Wow, that has got to be the first time I've seen that. Adeline. Okay, so can't tackle block. Right, so let's stop the Shieldred from just doing anything. Give this to the Inspector because the Luminarch Aspirant is already a threat, to be honest. How much loyalty does Vraska have? 4. Okay, so sadly we're going to have to waste this hit, but okay, we're doing fine. As long as we have 2 or more creatures out, I'd say. Nice one. And we can also draw a card with the clue if we want to protect the Adeline. They've not... I mean, what if this is Bolas of Citadel? I'll be a bit annoyed, but... So they're going to spend 5. Irony is, if they go for Liliana and discard, they're going to lose their last card as well. So their Nykthos will be useless at that point. Yeah, you're in a bind, mate. Liliana's good, but Soul Shatter means we lose the Thraben Inspector. No, highest mana value. Okay, so we lose the Luminarch Aspirant. Interesting. Interesting. So we sack this to draw a card. So next turn, we definitely want to play another creature. Okay, so whenever you attack, okay, this is great as well because it means that we can stop. Well, we can just get more attackers out. They are in trouble. Down to 5. Drawing more things. I think it's safe to get ourselves another card here as well. If we go for Curse, we can name Liliana, but it doesn't really make a difference. I guess Shadow Spear or Maul. We'll go for Maul just in case, because the flying here could be useful in case they manage to get some kind of blockers out. More blockers, no. So if it's just Liliana, I think we just win the game. They make us sacrifice the human. Wow, this deck's performed really well. Very powerful deck. Love it. You were right, Roy. So they can't even block. Savage deck. Let's have a look at the deck editor and see if there's anything that I want to tweak. Unlikely, but we'll see. Okay, so here we are looking at the deck list once again after a few games. And what do I think of the deck so far? I think it's freaking awesome, Roy. And I don't normally say that. I don't normally say that quick because I normally see a few things that I don't agree with, but your deck ethics here have been incredible. You are a very, very, very good deck builder. I can tell that just by your decisions, and it's just awesome to see how you have constructed this deck. I think the only things I would change is just basically down to preference. So just looking off the bat, I'm just going to have a look and see what other rare lands I have. When I'm starting to look at, just rare lands here, you can see that there's nothing else to really look at to amend what's missing in the rare lands that's good. We have the Sundown Pass, which is just auto-include. Really good. So what will I take out? I think I'll take out the Fable Passage. I think, again, fetch lands in 2-color are not my cup of tea. I think it's a little bit too, tiny fraction bit too risky. I'm not a huge fan of Thran Portal either because it has a chance of coming in tapped. So I will get rid of that and just increase the mountains, but I'm happy with this. It's a bit boring sometimes to play super efficiently, but yeah, it's just really, really good to be stable in this meta. What else can I see that I wasn't a fan of? Sarah Paragon's fantastic. We never saw it so far, but it's great. Something that I failed to realise was that Kellan can actually search for auras as well, which just completely opens up the deck. It turns this card from searching for an equipment into Demonic Tutor almost, because some of these auras in the deck are actually stuff that I didn't even think about. Like Ossification is an aura that can actually get rid of a creature. Really fantastic. What else do I think? Reprieve. This is an interesting one because although we did use it, it's a very reactive card, and I'm just thinking if this is something that we really need. But I think against control builds, it is worth keeping in just a little bit, just a bit of protection. Giant Killer. Not a huge fan of this card. It just feels quite fringe. Again, haven't used it in this build yet, but if we're just going down to preference now, this is getting into the really finicky stuff because the rest of the deck feels so solid. I think it's 3 mana to do this, which feels kind of a little bit too expensive. Swords, Fragment Reality, Vanguard, Cathar Commando. Line Sash is okay. It's an equipment though, so we'll keep it in. Honestly, the rest of it feels fantastic. Goldspan Dragon again, really fantastic card. Do we even need it? Do we even get that far in the game to actually need this? I guess it's got flying, right? Let's have a quick look in the mythics to see how we can just transform that one giant killer into something epic. If you are ever stuck deck building, by the way, just look at your mythics. Your mythics should sway you in a direction to tell you where you need to go. So I think we could even put something in 4 or 5 slot if we really wanted. Wandering Emperor. What else do we have here that's good? Thinking about the new Virtue card in red. That's been on my mind recently because it's 2 things in 1, isn't it? Nothing else really sticks out. Yeah, so the Virtue of Courage seems pretty good. 2 damage to anything, and whenever source you control deals non-combat damage, you may exile that many cards. Although it's non-combat damage, right? So maybe not so good. Non-combat damage. Nothing else really sticks out to me, so I'm just going to have a quick look at the dual color cards. Again, another really good direction to go in if you're stuck to edit. Going into the dual color cards that your deck allows really just specializes in the colors that your deck, you know that the dual colors really accentuate what your deck can do. And I've just seen that the Lightning Helix here is not in it, so I do think that's a fantastic card. Essentially, if your deck uses Lightning Bolt, your deck can use Lightning Helix. It's almost an auto include. 3 damage here and there is fantastic. Anything else here I can see? Chance for Glory is good. It's a bit risky. Akiri draws you cards if you have equipped creatures. What would I take out instead of that? The Bodyguard's such a great removal spell. Tythache is good. I honestly don't know what I would take out. What if we took out the Goldspan Dragon for the Akiri? Try that. Reduce the mana curve. Make it even more aggressive. Asari's okay. Tajik. Nothing else is really screaming at me. And then we're getting into the expensive cards now. 4, 5, 6 is not where we really want to be. But yeah, I would say this current list here would be the deck that I would proudly roll into battle with. So let's have a few more games of this and just see how we feel. So this is actually a pretty decent hand. Although the Restoration of Agandro is bad versus a Clothis because they can exile our stuff. But I do like it because the Armed Scavenger is so freaking insanely good. So we're going to keep it. Put that to the bottom. Yeah, the fact this gives you basically a free card every turn is weird. It's so weird. It only lets you cast at that turn, but still. And yeah, I love the addition of stuff like Bone Crusher Giant because it's 2 in 1. It's a creature and a kill spell, which is just awesome. Selfless Spirit is going to be wonderful against red-green as well because they can only really deal red damage to deal stuff or, fight us. Molten Impact. Okie dokie, that's dead. So yeah, we'll go for the Restoration here, which will probably prompt them to go for the Clothis. Okay. Selfless Spirit maybe into... Not sure. Sin Divines. Are they going to blow up here? To stop us getting the Armed Scavenger back? Huh. The thing is, it's too late to react now, isn't it? Because you can't respond because we've already targeted it, so interesting one there. Okay, I think we'll go for the Selfless Spirit then. To try and protect the Armed Scavenger again, because they clearly didn't like us doing that. the last time. And what do we go for? So if we show them something they want to kill, they may never use Cindervines, but issue is Cindervines can destroy any artifact or enchantment. So maybe we just go for... I don't really know. Yeah. Maybe we just go for the Forge of Frontier anyway. It's going to be a strange one because now they see we have the SOFAF, as I like to abbreviate it to. The Cindervine is going to just last a lot longer here. But as long as they don't threaten our creatures, what else are they going to do, you know? If Armed Scavenger keeps giving us artifacts and enchantments as well, they're going to... The Cindervines is only really going to go so far, isn't it? So we'll see. If they choose to kill it, they're going to use the Domri's Ambush. So we might as well sacrifice it here to keep the Armed Scavenger alive, because again, they clearly want to keep this alive. What do we go for? Gold Vein Pick's pretty good. Or toughness on the Destiny Spinner, though. And this is also an artifact or enchantment for them to kill, so it's interesting. Gold Vein Pick can come out, give this +1/+1, but then we can't deal with the spinner. That's annoying, unless we just go for the double spell here. We could just go for Bone Crusher Giant. There's so many different options, aren't there? Do we just spam the field? That's going to deal damage. Equip that to the Architect. Make his toughness a bit higher. And do we want to go for Kellan, or is that just... No, let's just go for Kellan, I think. I can't imagine using a board wipe after playing Destiny Spinner. Feels a bit weird. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the field. Obviously, they go for something like 5 damage to all creatures. That's going to be a bit sucky. But then they'll kill this creature, which they already invested. Do they have another fight spell? Seems likely, considering they're highlighting Kellan. It's funny how Kellan acts more like a bodyguard in this deck. When they see him, they think, oh my god, let's take care of him. If you didn't know, by the way, Kellan's dad, I'll give you one guess who his dad is. Who was a Fae who was really annoying in the first set? That's right, Oko. Oko is Kellan's dad. Crazy, right? Okay, so 4/5. Let's go for it. At least we're going to get at least one good swing in. The double strike with protection is actually ridiculous. Kellan plus sword. Wow. They can't even block this. Okay, so we're gonna lose the Architect? No? They're gonna change their mind? They are gonna do that? Sure. Really not that bothered, unless they do have a board wipe. Oh, come on, give us a land. Down to 15. There we go, we get ourselves a land. And then put target non-historic permanent. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Oh no, we can't do on that. So maybe we just go for... Kill this, get that out of the way. And then equip this to the Kellan, make him as big as possible. But yeah, the Cindervines might be able to screw us over a bit here, because if we lose this sword, attacks do get a bit tricky, but they don't have any blockers now. So what am I really worried about? Just look at our hand. 2 removal spells and a Ragavan. I mean, it's pretty crazy. They've not played land drops as well, which really hinders a Green X deck. Bone Crusher Giant, okay. We're just going to kill that with the Lightning Helix, I think. Not that bothered about it. We'll lose 2 here for targeting this, and then lose 1 for the Cindervine. So This is essentially just a lightning bolt. We don't gain a life for this as such. And we could lose another 2 when the Cindervines kills the sword. So we'll have to find out. Then do we just dash this as well? Probably. Make them regret challenging us here. If they don't use the Cindervines here, they are just crazy. Yeah, I was going to say. Because we're going to get 2 treasures with the Kellan as well. Really trying to hang in there. But can they sustain long enough? Down to 6. Get another treasure. Steal a card, which is a land. Okay, well, we've got surprise 2 damage. Do we just do that here? 2 damage and then play the Bone Crusher? And even if they do kill our field, we have a Ragavan with dash. So this is 2 damage. Can they stop us? Burning Tree Emissary? Into a bloodthirsty adversary, and they can now cast a spell from their graveyard. Interesting, but we do have a haste attacker, and we do have the ability to just cast Kellan again. So, oh wow, yeah, I think they're just in a bit of trouble now. We can get any equipment, including the flying axe. The maul, yeah, that'll do it. And yeah, swing over the top. Wow, this is a freaking insanely powerful deck. Okay, so there's really not much more to say about this deck. It's absolutely incredible. I don't really know how Boros got a deck like this. It's just super strong. It searches for the right things. It's a toolbox deck. It gets through all the barriers that there may be. He's a strong finisher. What the actual hell? It's weird for me to say that Boros deck. So thank you, Raw Enoch, for suggesting this build. I never really thought he was that strong, but he's a mythic for a reason. He's really good. He has a lot of words on him, and I would definitely craft it if you wanted a fun, different build that you're just not really used to. And I think it does actually really well in the meta. I mean, you saw yourself in total of the games you didn't see. I probably lost 2 games out of maybe 10. So it's a pretty high win rate from the small sample size I've played. Yeah, give it a go. Craft it yourself. If you want your own decks to be analysed, just ask to join the Discord and I'll drop you a link. And then we can have a discussion in Discord with all the lovely people. If you want to help support me, like many of my wonderful fans do, then feel free to join the crowd and go to my Ko-fi or Patreon and donate there to help support me. Cool beans. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.